April is Stress Awareness Month, and I think we know there's plenty of stress. So I'm going to give you some tips today to understand how stress is so important because it affects your mood, your sleep, your energy, your outlook on life. So let's get into it. I'm Dawn, your Natural Hormone Balancing Specialist, help women balance their lives by balancing their hormones. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. Did you know there's different types of stress? So if you're a rare person that says, oh my goodness, financially, I'm great. My husband and me, perfect. My kids, awesome. I can't imagine, but that's what we think of as stress, financial, family, stuff in the world. But we don't realize there's different types of stress. There's physical stress, there's mental stress, and then what I mentioned is more like emotional stress. So let's start talking about what is physical stress. Like people don't even realize that. Physical stress is overexercising. It's good to exercise, but it's a stress on the body. The other thing is heat and cold. If you're outside in extreme heat or you work, and probably this is more men sometimes, it might work in construction or whatever, extreme heat or extreme cold, getting sick, having a low level virus, having Lyme's you didn't even know about. Sometimes people don't even know some of these things till they really come to fruition. So anything like that, but did you realize even blood sugar fluctuations are physical stressors? So if you drank coffee and you didn't eat any breakfast, you have no fat, no protein, no fiber to balance it out, blood sugar drops. And that's terrible for stress, which is going to be terrible for your hormones too. So there's so many types of stressors that people don't realize, but then there's also mental, which is like when you're trying to solve a complex problem. And that's where I think people don't always realize that's more of a mental type of stress, like a problem, anything that has to do with work or even just something in your personal life. So that can be very stressful and lay in the back of your head. And then emotional stress are things like a breakup or a divorce, or I'm really worried about my children, or those types of things. So I think, and finances. So I think we think of a lot of emotional, but there's physical and there's mental. Oh, the other one I forgot, in our modern world, who doesn't have a phone, right? I'm recording this on a phone. The electromagnetic field that comes from a phone, as well as computers, artificial light that comes down on you, that's all physically stressful on the body. So what does stress do? Overall, what is actually happening? So let's think about what's happening in the body. First, your body releases adrenaline, right? And then it releases cortisol, which is your probably more sustained stress. You're probably used to cortisol. But over time, people's cortisol levels end up going up high. And the reason is when you're under stress, even if it's just something basic that, maybe the stress of a wedding or a surprise birthday party or something like that, the body doesn't know if it's like a real impending stress, you're going to die tomorrow, or your life's in danger, or it's just a little stress that's supposed to help you get along in life. Because stress is good for us in some ways. The body doesn't know the difference, so it releases these hormones. So let's look at what's happening with our hormones. Let me show you this chart here. So let's look at what's happening. First of all, you see the first hour, it shows stress. I think everybody admits we're under a lot of stress. Stress over time increases cortisol. So short episodic stress is okay, but when cortisol goes up, it lowers a hormone called progesterone. Progesterone is so important because it's calming, it's soothing to the body. So when progesterone goes down, it leaves a woman estrogen dominant. There's a little more estrogen than progesterone. You can see that with young women, premenopause, and as you look at the next column, you can see it with postmenopausal women. It's actually a bigger gap between estrogen and progesterone during menopause, even when estrogen comes down a little bit, because progesterone goes down so low. So cortisol and stress is what causes our hormones, these female hormones, to become imbalanced. And the problem with that is progesterone is soothing and relaxing and helps your weight, mood, and sleep, and estrogen is stimulatory and excitatory, and it causes you to be hungry, gain weight, have headaches, not be able to sleep, and stimulates tissue for endometriosis, fibroids, and even female-related cancers. So as a hormone specialist, I had to go back and say, what is the real cause of hormone imbalances? Because really, my background was in weight loss, and then I got more into hormone balancing and stress that's related to that because women weren't able to lose weight. And then I realized it's connected, obviously, and people know this, to PMS, menopausal symptoms, mood, sleep, energy. So stress is a huge factor that affects all areas of our life. And the other thing that I think people don't think of, let's just say everything's perfect in your family, you're a millionaire, and you're living on a desert island. Let's just say all that. So I have no stress. Older people say that to me, I have no stress.